Good afternoon, Flosstube. I'm Sarah and this is my little corner of YouTube where I share my cross stitching. Today it's going to be only cross stitching because today is going to be my annual WIP parade. I do normally like to record my WIP parades in December, not January, which most others do. I think I did record in January just past, but generally I like to do them in December, so I'm trying to get back into that. I do know that that means that there won't be as many watches of this WIP parade as otherwise might be. But perhaps if you come across this episode now and before Christmas and don't have time to watch it, perhaps you will come back and watch it again early in the new year when it is kind of official WIP parade season. So I think really we'll probably just get on with it, except to say that I have a little job for you guys to do for me today. And that is, while you're watching the WIP parade, please take note of a couple of names of my projects that you would like to see me finish in 2026. I'm going to do some planning towards the very end of the year, and that planning will involve bringing 5 of these WIPs into a focus list. One of them will be my oldest WIP. That will go on the focus list. 2 of them I will choose myself, and then the other 2 will be chosen by you from the comments on this video. So you can suggest up to 2 or 3 of the projects in your comment. That's perfectly okay. There's not really a limit. And I will tot up every project that gets a mention, and we'll see which ones come out top, which 2 come out top, and then they will be 2 of the 5 on my focus list, and I will try really hard next year to get those 2 finished along with my oldest WIP, along with the other 2 that I'm going to focus on. I do hope for many more finishes than just 5 next year, but I wanted to specifically choose 5 of these existing WIPs to bring into a focus for finish next year. Now, the only exemption that there is from that list is the full coverage piece that I have. There is no way I will finish that, no matter what kind of focus I put on it. Even if I was monogamous for the entire year, there's no way that that will get finished next year. So we're going to exempt that from a vote on the the 5 focus pieces. So please vote, and I will take your top 2 votes and put them into my focus 5. So that is all you have to do today. If you can manage that, I'll be really grateful. I know it's hard to comment, especially at this time of year when there's so much to be doing and so much else going on, so much Flossmas and all of the rest of it. So if you don't get to choose to comment today and help me choose, that's okay. I will just take whatever comes and we'll see where that gets us. So let's get started with all these WIPs. I do have a grand total of 37 WIPs currently, so I've got to get through all of those and share them with you. I'm going to share them in chronological order from the date that they were started. I have a month and a year, and I can tell you that. So yeah, let's get started with our 37 WIPs. The first and oldest of my WIPs, so this will come into the 5 in focus next year, is the Christmas Gingerbread Village by Little Fox Stitching. And this is what it should look like if in all these years I had been working on it. It is a November 2021 start, and it is my oldest start. So it's a very pretty pattern. I got distracted and let Glitter Village overtake this one, and so it just didn't get picked up after I'd finished the first kind of central part. So let me show you where I did get to. This is stitched on 32 count Belfast linen in the colour Plein Air, which is a pale kind of bluey aqua colour. I'm sorry, you're not going to see the colours today. It's really wet, rainy, dismal day outside. I have the fake lights on here, and oh, I've forgotten to put the ring light on. Let me see if that helps. Oh, just a tiny bit of help there. Took away some of the shadows, so that's not so bad. So this is the 32 count plein air. I'm stitching 2/2 with the called for DMC flosses. It's a very pretty little chart, a very pretty little start. They're having two little boys having a snowball fight. But yeah, you can see I haven't really progressed it at all since 2021, maybe early 2022. So this will be a focus to finish next year. I try every year to finish my oldest WIP. I maybe haven't actually articulated that, but I do try to pick up my oldest WIP and get it finished in the year ahead. So 2026 is this one's year. I'm going to have to swap boards a bit, so please bear with me as the admin is a little bit slower today. Everything is hopefully organized in order, but it does need to be put onto boards and taken out of the pile. Number 2 is my birthday start from December 2022. Yeah, there should be a lot of shamed faces. As I was preparing and ironing all the pieces for this, I thought, that's shameful, that's terrible that I haven't stitched more on that piece. And of course, I know I want to stitch on everything tonight. Just tonight, I want to do everything. Anyway, you know the score. This is how it goes when we dig into our WIPs again and bring them out. So this is my progress on A Saviour's Praise. And this is a chart by Shakespeare's Peddler. See if I can show you that without too much glare. And as I said, it was my December 2022 birthday start. You'll see that I'm not very good at birthday starts, my own birthday starts. So I suppose I'm almost about 25% of the way through the chart, but that's not really terrible lot for what, 3 years? 3 years on the go. When I do pick this one up, I make nice progress on it. I just don't pick it up often enough. It was supposed to have been a Sunday stitch this year, but that didn't happen. So anyway, this is A Saviour's Praise. And it probably deserves some reasonable attention next year too. But then they all do, as you will see. So that's A Saviour's Praise. It's being stitched on, let me tell you, I think it's 32 count platinum. 30, is it 32? Maybe 36. It's 36 count platinum, 1/2. It's beautiful. It's really lovely. Platinum is such a very nice Swigart. I don't want to say basic because that makes it sound less than, but it's one of the Swigart ranges of fabrics, and platinum is a really great base fabric for samplers. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It takes colour really, really well. Number 3 is this little doodad. It's supposed to be a little ornament, and it's actually called Zigwigwi Delight. And you stitch it as a big square, and then you fold over the corners into the back to meet and become this double-sided ornament. I started this one in January 2023. When I pick it up, I do great with it, but I don't pick it up often enough. But here we have my progress on there. So yeah, it needs more attention, obviously, they all do, but it's very pretty. The colors are beautiful, soft shell pinks. It's very nice. There will be some beading on this project too, before I then have to figure out how to do all the folding and stitching. So that is Zigwigwi Delight. Number 4 is one that I struggle with, to be honest. It's pretty and it's colourful, but it's hard. And I struggle with it. So this is a little kit that I was gifted by my hubby. Must have been December 22 because I started it in January 23. And it's from the Heritage Crafts Karen Carter collection, and is called Afternoon Tea. Bring it up a little bit closer so you can see it. So it's fun, it's bright and vibrant, and It's just really lovely, but it is hard. I find it particularly hard because they do half stitches, which are tall half stitches, so they're only half the width of the Ada square from the kit, half the width but the full height. I find that hard. I find it hard to stitch. I mean, I can do it. It's not impossible to stitch, but it makes the counting hard for me for some reason. But anyway, I've got my teetering teacups and the teapot with the steam coming out and a little strawberry there. So it is very pretty as it comes together. But I think in my head, I don't pick it up enough because I think, oh, that's hard work. So might be good to see this one get a little bit more love and attention too. If I can retire at the end of January, they could all get love and attention, but not happening apparently. Okay. Number 5 is more teacups, and this one is on a scroll frame. It's a Luca S kit called Turquoise Themed Teacups, and I love stitching this one. I really do love stitching it. It got kind of left aside when we did Fun for 50 sale, and I didn't get back to it really at all last year, or this year, 2025. So, but it is really beautiful, and I've stitched a fair portion of the middle of the chart. Oops. I've stitched a fair portion of the middle of the chart, but you can see there's still quite a way to go. But I love the colors, I love it. It's very soft. The kit Ada is a soft blue, very soft blue Ada. And then the kit threads are Luca S. They're lovely to work with. I'm not sure what I think Luca S had their own threads, but they're very nice to work with. So I enjoy stitching on this one. Again, it's full coverage within itself, within its own borders, and that it does make it quite time consuming to work on, but definitely worth the effort. So one day this will be hanging up there somewhere, I hope. So I love this little kit. Love it. That is Luca S. Oh, and it was started in April 23. Okay. Then when we got to July 23, I, as we would say in Northern Ireland, I took the head staggers. Took the head staggers and decided I would start a full coverage piece. And my choice was Woman in a Field of Flowers by Ada Rosa. This is a cross-stitch pattern by Stitches So Beautiful. So the artwork is by Ada Rosa. And this is the pattern from Stitches So Beautiful. I think it's a gorgeous chart, but I haven't done very much of it at all. And I don't like the date that RXP is telling me it'll be finished at the current rate of my stitching. But let me show you, or remind you, I'm sure you remember, and it's not very exciting, but let me show you where I got to. So I'm up in the very top corner stitching blue sky. Lots and lots of blue sky. There must be about 18 different shades of blue and blue-green in there. It's amazing what you can do with thread, really, isn't it? Amazing. Of course, I just followed the chart. It's not my amazingness. But yeah, this one I struggle with because I know it's going to take forever and ever to finish, and I wonder, will I ever? And therefore, is it worth the effort that it will take maybe for the next 5 years to still not be really finished, to still be so far from a finish? And I haven't really ever answered that question. So there are times when I think I should just call it quits and admit defeat. Just admit that basically I stitched too many other things to prioritize this one enough to get done. But then there's a little part of me thinks, but one day maybe I will do it. So I don't know. I'm not going to force myself to stitch on it if I don't want to. And when I do stitch on it, I do actually really enjoy it, and I use Markup RXP to help. That really does help. And I do enjoy it. It just, you know, to see real progress means you have to be very consistent with it. And being consistent with it means I really would need to reduce my other projects considerably. So watch this space and we'll see, and we'll see. Okay, number 7 is another on a scroll frame. I don't have a pattern to show you for this one because it was a mystery sale and I don't think they ever produced a cover sheet for it. But this is Gilmoreisms. It was charted by Forbidden Fibre Company, and it's a kind of framed section stitch with sayings and quotes and things from the Gilmore Girls. And I have really enjoyed this. I do not have all of the framework in, so I just need to fill these in, and perhaps foolishly, I do have high hopes of getting this finished before New Year's Day. So I do think that I could, once I get past Christmas, I do think I could do this in the evenings and the afternoons, because I'll be off work for a few days over the Christmas period as well. That maybe, just maybe, I could push this one over the edge and get it across the finish line. So I have enjoyed this one. I started it when I really shouldn't have, on the 31st of December in 2023, right before the 1st of January 2024, when I was starting my Fun for 50 sale with Sally at Flossie Sews and Grows. So yeah, that was a really bad choice in terms of timing. It was a great choice because I enjoyed stitching it. I kept up for a little while, and I really enjoyed going back and re-watching the show as well, Gilmore Girls. And it was nice to be reminded of where all these quotes came from, because I'm not an aficionado where I remember those things kind of automatically, but it was nice to be remembered. So, to be reminded, sorry. Yeah, so I do have hopes that I can still finish this one before the end of the year, but for now, it is number 7 on the list. Number 8 is my current daily thread stitch, and it is Jardin Privé's Le Petit Chaperon Rouge, which is Little Red Riding Hood in a snow globe. What's not to love? So I'm stitching her, as I said, I picked her up as my daily thread stitch. Showed her to you just a few days ago on my last little slightly shorter Christmas episode. And I don't think I've made much progress since then, because this week I've done no stitching. And not since Monday night, I don't think. So this is my progress so far on Le Petit Chaperon Rouge. When I do get to stitch, it will be the first thing that I stitch every day. And I'm hoping it'll come together reasonably soon, like by the end of the year anyway. So that's another one I'm hopeful to get off the list before the end of the year. But I mean, if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it is what I'm actively working on at the moment. So I do need to fill in a little bit of the blue down here in the base, and there's another tree trunk comes up this side. So I think this might be quite a good one to do some of that fill in tonight, is across the pond, across the pond stitch and chat Zoom call. I did forget to say at the beginning of the episode that it is Saturday the 13th of December 2025. And tonight there is an across the pond Zoom call. So I'm thinking that this might be a nice one to work on then. Across the pond for us in the UK is at 8 p.m. and the light is not good even now, but it will be even worse by then. So this one is quite a nice one to work on, because it's on a 32 count Murano in coffee. So it's nice. And I'm stitching this with the called for DMCs 2/2. So And I started her in May 2024. She was one of the stitches for the Fun for 50 sale. All of the 2024 ones pretty much were. Number 9 is a historical sampler company stitch along, which I didn't get finished. And it's on a scroll frame, so I can't show you all of it, but it is called Do More of What Makes You Happy. And it was designed with by Stitcherovia, so it was a collaboration project that they had that year. I think it was their spring sale, so when did I start it? Yeah, in May 2024, so I think it was their spring sale. So the top part is all stitched, but it's, you know, it's folded over, and there's quite a bit to still go on the bottom to stitch it. I just got really busy and couldn't ever really get back to it. I don't know what I've been doing down here. I have no idea. So this is stitched 2 over 2, but down here I've been stitching single thread stitches. Maybe was practicing for something. Who knows, I'm gonna have to pull that back out. But anyway. That is the progress on Do More of What Makes You Happy. It's really pretty. It is really pretty stitch, and it would be good to finish that one up. So, like most of them, I never intended to leave them unfinished. Time got away from me and more projects came in and stole the limelight. Number 10 was started in June of 2024, and it's a teeny weeny one. It is a Bothy Threads kit of the Bridge House in Ambleside in Cumbria, one of my favourite places. And I made a little start in June 2024, but only got this far. So can you see? So yeah, it got picked up in a busy year. I was doing 50 starts, and some of them I progressed and some of them I didn't. This is obviously one that I didn't. It has been in this nerd hoop since then. So that's a year and a half in a nerd hoop. Yeah, although I'm pretty sure the whole design fits in the nerd hoop, so I'm not too worried about whatever damage is done leaving it in the hoop. I tend not to leave things in a hoop, even overnight, not even one night, but for some reason, I left this one in. Anyway, that is number 10, The Bridge House Ambleside by Bothy Threads. It's stitched on the 25 count potato Lugana, so it doesn't have to be this tiny because I'm stitching it 1 over 1. Yeah, just to make life easy. Actually, it was just to keep it small. I liked the idea of having it in a small version. Number 11 is a Yasmin's Made with Love chart that I started in July of 2024. It's called Strawberry Season. Here we go, there's the chart, Strawberry Season. And here's my very small start. So it's on a beautiful 32 count, Country French Rain fabric from Wetshelt, or Permin, sorry. Stitching it 2 over 2, and I'm using my own thread conversion just to brighten it up a little bit. Yeah, this is stitched on a kind of more traditional sampler fabric, and her colors are just a little, dull is not the right word, but they're a little more muted but still strong. I've just brightened my color choice up a little bit so that it shows better on this blue background. So it's a very pretty stitch. So, oh, I have so many lovelies. Okay. Next is my Christmas list. This was obviously, obvious to me, a Jolly July start in 2024 for the 50 starts, and it's my Christmas list by Silver Creek Samplers. Here it is. And here's where I got to back then. I don't think that I managed to get this one out this year either, but it's so pretty. I really do love this one. So I really do love them all. I don't have very many stitches that I don't still love. So a couple that I find, you know, that afternoon tea one that I find difficult, but doesn't mean I don't love the stitch, and it would be lovely to see it finished. But anyway, this one I do love, and it would be nice. It would have been nice to have stitched it this year to get it finished, but I have lots of other things that I have finished as a result of ignoring this one. So it is stitched. Sorry, I'm not very good at telling you the fabrics always, but it is another 32 count start on a Belfast linen called Silk. It's a beautiful pale grey, slightly blue grey color, silk. It's really a really lovely color. I like it. It's a very nice sampler color, but very much cooler tones. So that is Sveigart's Belfast linen in 32 count. And I think I am using all of the called for, I think I'm using all of the called for DMCs, but Priscilla at Stitching with the Housewives had done this, and she made a few changes. So I think maybe I've substituted a few somewhere along the line, but probably can tell you that better when I actually start stitching on it again and pull all the information out. Okay, number 12, that was a number 12. Number 13 is a little kit from Alyssa collection, and this is a little Ada kit. I'm stitching with the kit fabric. I often do stitch with the kit fabric. I know some folks change it out, but I just tend to keep the kit fabric in unless I really don't like it. But I do like Ada anyways to stitch on, so I will often keep it. And this is a sweet little Christmas scene with a teddy bear and a penguin. And that little penguin is going to give a present to the teddy, and I think Teddy's going to give one to the penguin as well. So it is called, what is it called? It's called The Dearest For You. The Dearest For You from Alyssa collection. And here's where I got to. Look at that wee penguin, isn't he a beauty? So I need to obviously work a lot more on the bear. And oh, it's so cute. Number 14 is a Barbara Anna design, and it's called Stitchingly Ever After. Lovely tree, lots of little motifs on stitching related. We have an a lady embroidering down at the bottom. We have a berry bowl and pin cushions and some scissors here. And then we have a house, which all good samplers have a house. Flowers, and then we've got some other little pretty elements as well. So this is Stitchingly Ever After. And as I look at this one, I can see it's also got fill-in potential for a Zoom call. So here's my progress. It was started in July of 2024 in the Fun for 50 year. I put 50 into the tree. If you were here around that time, you might recall that for the Fun for 50 Sal, where Sally and I were starting 50 starts in our 50th birthday year, we also had requested some challenges from our viewers, and you sent us in some challenges, and one of the challenges was to stitch 50 into something, or it was along those lines. And so this is obviously one of the projects that I've decided to stitch 50 into the original. So yes, there would be good fill-in opportunities here as well if I feel like it tonight. This one is stitched on 36 count Edinburgh raw linen from Sveigart, and it says here it's 2/2, so it is indeed 2/2, so it's quite chunky. But it's going to be really saturated in colour and look really well. So you can see the scissors here. They look a little bit ghosty on the screen, but they are stitched in one of those awful metallic threads. It's not Krynic, it's one of the DMC threads. and then just take it nice and slow and grit my teeth and get on with it. But I thought it looked nice in the metallics. I don't think it's in metallic on the actual chart. I don't have that information with me today, but there's another pair of scissors to go over here as well, so I'll probably do them the same. They do show up better in real life than they are showing up on camera, so they're not quite as ghosty looking. Number 14. Number 15 is one that I started probably foolishly. I think the prompt for this one in the Fun for 50 Sal was to stitch something that I found intimidating. So this was an August 24 start, and it's from Jacob at Modern Folk Embroidery, and it's called Fancy and ABC. And it's intimidating only in the sense that it is huge and also that this is pretty much a CC work, and just sometimes getting your brain, even though you're reading the pattern, for me, even though I'm reading the pattern, just getting my brain to accept that the pattern is building in the negative is a challenge. But I did start this one and I loved every stitch that I put into it. I just didn't put enough stitches into it. I was really surprised when I brought this one out to iron it and prepare it for you. I was really shocked at the size of the piece of linen. Really shocked. I don't know what I was thinking. Look, this is half of it. It's folded in half. Look. Yeah, see, that linen is folded up in half. It's a huge piece. Anyway, you can see that I went all the way across to the edge to make sure I had enough room, but really the little bit of work that I've done is here on this side. And I'm stitching this with a DMC thread. It is 924, DMC 924, and it's on 36 count Edinburgh linen in flax, I think, and I'm stitching 1/2, and I'm quite happy with the coverage of that. It's up very close, you're maybe seeing through a little bit, but coming back you don't. So it's really, really lovely. I do have skeins of the 924 that are slightly different from each other, but the plan is to mix those up and it will look just like variegated thread would anyway. So it's not bothering me at all. But if you're looking at it and thinking, she said 924, that should all look the same. Well, you're right. But it takes so many skeins of floss that I had to buy from different suppliers. And when they came, I did notice that there was a difference, probably because it's a very dark color. Sorry, I'm exposing my underwear today. Probably because it's a very dark color. You can notice the difference a little bit more. But it really, now I'm just choosing a strand from this skein and a strand from that skein, and I'm working that way with my threads. And it's mixing them up like I would with a variegated floss anyway, so it really has no detriment to the piece for me at all. So that is the huge piece that will one day be Fancy and ABC. I love it so much. I love it. I think I need to go away for a month and just devote to something. I think I need a lot of things, but anyway, I need to stop fooling myself. Okay, number 16 is an August 2024 start. It's the Blue Flowers Autumn Bee. Here we go. Try and get it without too much glare for you. Very, very pretty chart. I'm stitching this on a 32 count Murano even weave, and the color is Antique Violet, and this is a color from Zweigart themselves. So I really like this color. It's akin to what the chart is showing. I know that I am stitching with some of the DMC alternative suggestions that are on the chart. I don't have very many of the fancy flosses at all for this one. In fact, I'm not sure I've got any. So I'm stitching with the DMC suggestions, and in a couple of places I know I decided to do something a little bit different. So this fill in here, whatever the DMC suggestion was, I didn't like it so much, so I actually have created a blend of threads to do that. So and I think maybe this purple stitching up here is a blend as well, so I think I must have been getting creative and trying to use the DMCs that I have instead of going down the list and having to purchase all of those fancy flosses. So I'm happy with them so far, but as you can see, I didn't really get terribly far. So we'll see what happens next year. Don't forget, keep a note of the ones you like, and we'll try. I will count up the votes for the projects that you like, and then I will try to finish that project next year, make it one of my finishes. Number 17, I think we're on now, is Cherub with a Tree. And I started this one in September 2024. It is a free chart from Mirabilia. I will try and remember to put in the picture up here. Cherub with a Tree. So I have never stitched a Mirabilia before. This is my first, and Mirabilias generally aren't going to be something I don't think I'll really move into stitching them, but I did like this one, and I thought it might be nice to try a Mirabilia, and because it was free, of course. So here's where I've got to. I'm working in her hair, and I'm trying to trust the process because I'm using all the called fors. It just seems a little bit stark of shading. But I've seen the finished stitch, and I've seen other people stitch it too, and it works, so I'm trusting the process. So that is my Cherub with a Tree. There are some other cherubs for free on that Mirabilia site too, if you're interested. You could go and have a look. Number 18 is the birthday start for lovely Sally. This was a September 2024 start, and this was Sally's 50th birthday start, and she chose Americana Blue by October House Fiber Arts. Gorgeous chart, really gorgeous chart, but I decided not to stitch it in blue. I decided to stitch it in red, and I think it's Louisiana hot sauce, I think. And it's beautiful. You know, if you've watched my episodes, that I struggle with this particular motif down the side. So I try to put one in every time I pick it up so that I'm getting through them. It's just the counting. It's not a difficult motif. I think it's just me, just me. And this is a 40 count 1/2. So I've got a lot more to do. I'm obviously very bad at other people's birthday starts as well. Sorry, Sally. So that is Americana Blue in red. I think at some point last year, I decided that I wanted to have a lot more red stitches than I have. Red is my favorite color. When I was quilting, I quilted a lot in red. And I mean, I love pink too, and I have stitched a lot of pink, but coming away from quilting, we redecorated our house, and there wasn't so much red in the house. I kind of left red alone for a little bit, and I think sometime in 2024 I decided, right, I have to get back to red. And the result is I've got a lot of red starts, a lot of big red starts that haven't really gone anywhere. But anyway, one day they will all be beautiful hanging on the wall. Number 19 is a very small start that I made on a project at Stitch in London 2024. It is the autumn panel. And this was our exclusive design for Stitch in London 2024, and it was available to purchase there if you wanted it. I thought it was very sweet, and I did pick it up. I started in the house, stitched the house, and haven't stitched any more of it. but it is lovely. Let me just organize and move it over here onto a board so that I can share it with you. So here is that little house in the center, looking a little bit lost and lonely, but it will look lovely when it's done. So, see, it's on the tip of my tongue to say I really should get back to that, but I say that about them all. So, autumn panel, and this is from Historical Sampler Company. And you'll see later on in the WIPs, there's another one that they gave us this year, or that was available to purchase this year at Stitch in London, and it is the winter version. It's very pretty too. So, number 20 now, this is number 20, and it is Home for Christmas from Plum Street Samplers. I really like the fabric for this. Oh, I should show you the chart first, sorry. There we go, Home for Christmas. This is one of those charts that fooled me because I thought, oh, this is just a little small pillow, but it's actually quite large. Of course, I'm stitching it on a 32 count. It's a Belfast linen from Spygart called Vintage Sand. And I love this linen. I just love it. 32 count 2/2. And you can see I didn't make huge amounts of progress on this piece. The lovely Sally at Stitchy Sally has finished hers. She started along with us. I think Sally Flossie Sews and Grows has finished as well. So I'm very much bringing up the rear. But anyway, c'est la vie. Home for Christmas. Not this year. Number 20. 21 is the Moonshine Cabin from, sorry, just put all the pieces together. The Moonshine Cabin from Modern Folk Embroidery. A beautiful stitch, really beautiful stitch. I've always wanted to stitch this one and I made a start on it, just didn't get very far. It is stitched on 32 count Lugana. Mystic by Picture This Plus. I've stitched a few things on this fabric now. This might have been the first thing I started on the fabric, but I've actually used the rest of the fabric and stitched some other bits and pieces on, and I love this fabric. It's tight, the holes are tighter, so it's, although it's 32 count Lugana, it feels more like a 36 count to stitch on, but it's still beautiful to stitch on. And I think I'm just using the Cold 4 fabrics, which I believe are they DMC? I haven't got that on this particular note, so there must be another note floating around the bag somewhere. But anyway, as you can see, I got the house in the center done and then not much else. So my report card is very much saying, Sarah is easily distracted in class. She's not a finisher. 22. This was a November start and it was in our year of 50 starts, Fun for 50, but also for Black Sampler November. And it was a chart that was gifted to us by Michelle at Mama Loves You GB. It's her chart, Nessie Mitchell, 1929. And I think it's gorgeous. Really, really gorgeous. I love the top and the bottom borders. I love the simplicity of the center alphabets and the vowels and the little coronets and crowns. And then I hope to personalize mine in here, where this is personalized for Nessie Mitchell, who was relative of Michelle at Mama Loves You GB. I hope to personalize it for my maternal grandmother. So eventually. So here's where I got to. And I had wanted to pick her up again for this year's Black Sampler November, but I just didn't get around to it. I had other plans. So, number 22, Nessie Mitchell. Number 23 is '324, the sequel. So 324 was a chart put out by Works by ABC. And then 324, the sequel, is her chart as well, but it's not cross stitch, it's more of blackwork stitching. So in 2024, in October maybe? November 2024, I can tell you exactly what happened. In November and December, Charlotte, my daughter, she gets very unsettled. It's Christmas overstimulation, and she doesn't settle to bed at night very well. So we went through a period where we're having to sit upstairs every night and kind of wait up there until she would go over to sleep, which could be quite some time. And in my wisdom, I thought, well, while I'm sitting here, I should stitch something. And I thought I'll pick up this one, 324, the sequel, and I'll make a start on it. And each night I can do one or two of those little tiny squares. Now, this is going to make it look like Charlotte only had a few nights of untroubled sleep. But I obviously moved into other things like probably Christmas wrapping and that. Well, I was waiting for her to fall asleep. But yeah, I didn't get very far. I had great plans. I thought one or two a night and I'll be done in a few months and she'll be fine again. But that isn't how it worked out. And this is all I got done. So I don't know if I hold it up, can you see some of those little patterns there? It's very nice. It is very nice. But I think you need slightly better light than I had up in the bedroom for doing it as well. Who knows, maybe one day I will pick it up and get back to my 324 colours of DMC. Number 24, WIP number 24 is another blue flower chart, and it's the Seasons of the Heart Winter. I have all of these and would love to have them all finished, but I barely have this one started, so I have a cheek to say I would like them all finished. So I do apologise. Anyway, sorry. Seasons of the Heart Winter. Started this one in December 24? Nope, the end of November 24. And here's how much I got done. It's beautiful though. The colours are gorgeous. I know they're not showing up as nicely in this light as I would want them to, but they are beautiful. One day I will have these all finished. You'll have to cheer me on for them. But they are gorgeous. And I obviously I haven't gotten to any of the little animals or anything yet, but one day. I'm stitching this on 32 count, 2 over 2. It's Belfast linen in that silk color again, kind of very, very pale gray, slightly blue tint, but you would not call it blue, but it's beautiful. I really love this color too. So, and I'm stitching 2 over 2 on it. So it's nice and saturated. That's Seasons of the Heart Winter. And then number 25, am I right? Yes, 25. Well, 25 is another birthday start. So we got to December 2024 in the Fun for 50 year, and it was my turn to choose a birthday start. And I chose Strawberry Fields Forever. And as I said earlier, I'm useless at the birthday starts. So this one is particularly bad, particularly poor. I'm gonna have to do this. And this is stitched on 40 count Zweigart Newcastle linen in blush. So it's a very pale pink. It's not showing up very nicely here, but you can tell that it's pink. And look at that little pathetic little start on my house. Oh, my poor birthdays. I think it doesn't help when your birthday is on the 8th of December. that really doesn't help. It's like the busiest time of the year and you have to focus on 4 million other things and you can't just settle down with your new start. And by the time you do have time, you've moved on to something else. So that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. So that is my poor sad start on Strawberry Fields Forever. Do you want to see me finish this one next year? Write it down on the list and put it in the comments. I am going to have a hard time choosing two of my own. You're going to choose two. I'm going to do the oldest WIP. You're choosing two, and then I have to choose two of my own from these to focus on and finish next year. I'm going to find that really hard to make a choice. Next is a beauty from Flossabilities, and it's Cabin in the Woods, and this is now WIP number 26. Cabin in the Woods. Absolutely gorgeous chart. I believe again Stitchy Sally has finished this, and it's so nice. Lots of people have finished it, but I did start it early in January 25. I think it was my New Year's Day start actually, and here's how far I got. I'm stitching on a 20 count Aida in slate grey, and it is a beautiful fabric for these colours. I'm able then to stitch 1/1 on the 20 count, and it's not going to be a huge stitch, but I mean there are plenty of stitches to stitch, but it's not going to be a huge finished piece. So it's really beautiful, really beautiful. Oh, it's so nice, so nice. Sam and Lauren over at Flossabilities do such a beautiful job charting. They really do, and they have come out with some absolutely fantastic things this year. Their latest one was the Santa Town as well. Oh, they're so good. They're so good. Okay, number 27 is another Modern Folk embroidery. This one, I'm gonna try and get it onto the frame here, onto the board here, so that you can see it better. This one is Baldock and Birdies, which was last year's. Was this the 2024 stitch along? I never do them as stitch alongs in the year that they come. I don't. Anyway, I think this was a 2024 stitch along. My chart has been signed by Jacob. So precious. It was a birthday present from my lovely friend Noreen, who had bought the chart at the Big Stitch in 2024 in June or July in 2024, and she bought this for me for my birthday. So I love it. I love it, love it, love it. But I haven't gone very far with this one either. This is another one of those big red stitches I started that I was telling you about. I am stitching it, let me see, on a 40 count light Sanditon from Swan Bay Fabrics, a gorgeous fabric, and I'm using Weeks Dye Works Turkish Red, which is quite a bright red, beautiful and really lovely variegation in it. I don't know that it's showing up terribly well today. You can see a little bit over. You can see a little bit over here on this side here. It's beautiful, and it's really nice to stitch. It's you know, it's rhythmic when you're stitching it. Yeah. Oh, love it too. Some folks who are doing really well with this one, Sarah at Sarah's Stitchy Spot, and somebody has just finished it in blue and it's gorgeous. Is it Lizzie at Mrs. Fisher Stitches, like a turquoisey blue? Oh, I could be talking through my hat, but I think so. Anyway, I know I've seen gorgeous finishes of it, and that just makes me want to stitch it even more. So, in many ways, I should probably never have started these. There was no way I was going to be able to keep up with any of them. But they're in my WIPs, and I love them. Love them. Okay. That's that. I've now got cards and bits of paper all disjointed, and I'm going to have fun putting these all away, aren't I? Number 28 is the Piece Band Sampler from Heartstring Samplery. This is designed by Beth Twist. My friend Kathleen at Kathleen's Trodden Trails was starting this along with another of her stitchy friends earlier this year. and when we were all hopeful for peace, and we still are. Mind you, my progress doesn't bear witness to that, that I'm still working through this for peace sake. This is on a 36 count Longbourn blush from Swan Bay Fabrics. I'm stitching 1/2 with Classic Colourworks C Shelley, and it is beautiful. Now, ooh, this doesn't look right. This is not how this looks in real life, okay? These blotches are not, they're not like they are in real life. This fabric is beautiful. For some reason, the camera is picking those up very sharp. There's a little bit, you know, a little dye change there, but it's not quite as severe as it's looking here. It's a gorgeous fabric. I love Longbourn blush. That is really strange how that's doing that. Anyway, that is as far as I got to. This band is obviously quite hard work, and I decided to drop it down and start the other one. So yeah, need to get back to that. I love that sea Shelley thread. It is absolutely beautiful and a perfect pairing for the Longbourn blush from Swan Bay Fabrics. Perfect. I have so many nice things, you know, if I do say so myself. Of course, they're only nice because the designers are absolutely superb at designing, and the fabric dyers are superb at fabric dyeing, and everybody provides us with all this great material and sources to have all these beautiful stitches. Are we at 29 now? Let's see. Yes, 29. Started in April 25. It was June. It was the April subscription box from Cotton and Twine. They had put out several of these charts, monthly charts, in their subscription box. Not every month came out in a subscription box, but the months are all out on their website now as regular patterns to be able to purchase if you like them. They were really beautiful, a beautiful series, and then the ones that they've gone back to fill in, as it were, to pick up the missing months, they're lovely too. So this one is June. Because I don't have the whole series, I think when I do stitch it, I'll change the word. I will either change it to Buzz, or I will bring one of the bees down into the center at the bottom. I think I'm going to do something different down here anyway, because I don't want to stitch June just because I don't have the whole series. And you can see I just got the little bee skep started in the center, so I've got quite a bit to go. But it's really another beautiful chart from Cotton and Twine subscriptions. So yeah, I've got so many beautiful things that it's just going to be a pleasure to get back to any of them, really. So keep your voting, no matter what. Number 30 is a little Luca S kit that I was planning to stitch for Charlotte's birthday, which was in July. I started in May. And it's this little girl, a girl with a kitten and a cake, a Luca S kit. I'm just using all of the kit provided fabrics. It's an Aida, I think it's a 16 count. Yeah, 16 count Aida, and whatever their flosses are. And there's more stitching on this Aida than there looks. Her skirt has a lot more stitching than you can tell really right now. But I got quite far and then just stopped. So, and intended to get back to her, just didn't get there. So maybe for this year's birthday, she'll have it finished. My plan was just to have a few little birthday stitches that I can bring out every year just to set around, maybe to set around the dresser or in little baskets in the house. Just, you know, those little vignettes that I change every now and again, just a few pretty birthday stitches I thought would be cute. But that's a plan to execute in the future. So that is A Girl with a Kitten and a Cake. Number 31. This was one I was hoping to get back to this month, but I'm not sure now that I'm going to be able to. Time is Time is getting away from me in December. Do you find that? I start out with great intentions and I'm on top of everything, and then somewhere around last week, the second week in December, everything starts running at its own pace in different directions, and it's just trying to gather everything back in again. Anyhow, this one is Seasons Courier Robin's Spring from Robin Pickens. And I started this for Marianne Johnson's birthday. She's having a milestone stitch along this year, and although she didn't start this chart, she started one of the other seasons, and I can't remember which one now. It's just gone out of my head. Sorry, Marianne. Sally and Marianne started the correct season, but I didn't have that one, so I just said, can I just start this one instead? So I have Robin's Spring, and I made a start on it. I'm using a Coffee Craft Fabrics for this one. It's a 25 count even weed, and it's even weave, not a weed, even weave. It's not a named fabric. Megan doesn't name her fabrics. You can see it's a beautiful blue, slightly more aqua in real life than it's showing on camera. It's showing as a kind of definite blue there, but it's slightly more aqua, duck egg kind of colour. Quite strong duck egg. And I'm stitching it 1/1. It's a 25 count even weave. I'm stitching it 1/1, which is why it looks so teeny weeny. And I'm using, I believe, I'm just using the called fors. Yes, they're all DMCs, and I think I'm using all of them. I don't think I substituted anything. The colours are really striking on this chart. So I know I had hoped to pick this one up and maybe get it finished by the end of the year, but I'm thinking that's not going to happen. So anyway, that is Robin's Spring. I do like to move on to 1/1 now and again, just to reduce the size of the stitch. Then you know, I've got options as to whether I make it into a pillow or whether I make it or frame it, you know, as a tiny framed piece or something. So I do like to switch my fabric in and out from time to time, and you know, over 2 or over 1, and I like the different sizing of things. I like it until I start having to frog it, but there you go. Okay, number 32, we're getting there. We are getting there, folks. Number 32 was started in July of 2025. And it is Treasury of Compassion from Teresa Kogut. This one, I came across it, and it really spoke to me, and I wanted to make a start on it. And here is my effort, and here is Teresa's chart. It is the prayer, the Divine Mercy Chaplet, I believe, and it's a beautiful prayer. I love it. I love stitching on this and thinking about the prayer, and I just love stitching on it, full stop. It's so lovely, so lovely. I'm stitching on 40 count Newcastle linen in light mocha. I'm stitching 1/2, and I'm using DMC 115, their variegated red floss, which someone tells me is being discontinued. So I don't like that idea. I love DMC 115. I don't like the idea of it being discontinued. So there may be some 115 hitting in my shopping baskets next time I order. So anyway, I love the 115. I know it's very stark variegation. You know, it changes from very bright to very dark red, and that's not everybody's cup of tea, but I think it's lovely. So that is my Treasury of Compassion WIP. Andrew at the Runner Stitcher is stitching Treasury of Compassion 2, and he's doing it in the Called For Flosses, which is a Valdani called Golden Autumn, and it looks really nice. Obviously you can see it here, but on Andrew's screen you can see it a little bit better than the photo. So it's beautiful. Go and have a look. Andrew's been doing a lovely Flossmas this year as well, so if you haven't been watching his Flossmas, you could go over there. and give it a little bit of your time, if you have any. There's so many folks doing Flossmas, aren't there? Okay, next is Birthstone Turquoise, and this is from Birthstone series by Northern Expressions Needlework. So here we go. This is not just cross stitch, but is some specialty stitches as well. It was a gift from the lovely Natalie at Sew Stitch Sew Nat, and I started it in August thinking I would be able to get it finished by the end of the year, but I didn't. And I think the reason for that is that with the specialty stitches, I think I would need to be keeping at this piece to remember. And so every time I go to pick it up now, I have forgotten, and I think, oh, I don't have time to relearn that tonight. I'll do that another day. So so I think what I need to do is focus one day, pick it up and get going on it, and then just keep focusing on it regularly. It wouldn't have to be completely monogamous, but just, you know, at least once or twice a week, be picking it up and carrying it on to a finish. It's not so much, it's not that it's really terribly hard or anything. It's just new to me, and I'm trying to figure it out. So I got a part of the top corner done. It's not quite finished, and it was beautiful to work on. Really was beautiful to work on, but I just know that I broke my concentration and I didn't get back to it. So, but I will. One day I will. One day I will have them all done. So that is Birthstone Series Turquoise from Northern Expressions Needlework, and it was number 33. Number 34 is another red one that I got. Yeah, I think I got green-eyed over this one because I saw Sarah of Sarah's Stitchy Spot started, and I thought, oh, that's so lovely. And then I saw her progress, and I thought it's even lovelier. And then I thought, oh, I really would like to do that myself. And so anyway, so I did. I started it myself. It's a French fancy from Mama Loves You GB. Absolutely stunning alphabet, stunning. So I have a very little start on this red. There's a surprise. But here, we've got an A. And it's beautiful. It is on 40 count albarium from Cedar River Linen, so it's quite a whitish color. Not pure white, but you know, certainly not a cream. Albarium by Cedar River Linen, and I'm stitching it with Soa 103. So it's the color number is 109, and it's beautiful, really beautiful. So I think this might be my first full SWA 103 project, maybe? Can't remember. Haven't done too many in SWA 103, but this one. Lovely. Sarah's made really lovely progress on hers, so if you don't already watch Sarah, I'm suspecting most of you do, but if you don't already watch Sarah, it's definitely worth your time to go and follow her. Okay, we're getting close. Number 35 is the winter panel version from Historical Sampler Company that I was telling you about. This was our exclusive kit for Stitch in London this year, 2025, in October. And I'm glad to say I've got a little bit more stitched on this one than I do on the autumn one. But this is the winter panel sampler. Very pretty. And I made a start at Stitch in London and then worked on it a little bit when I came home as well. It's lovely, really, really lovely. And they both will be lovely when they're finished, the autumn and the winter. And I'm hoping that there'll be a spring and summer eventually too. So yeah, it's nice to have that one a little bit further on. It's not quite so shameful as the autumn one was. So, and this is, I think this is on 32 count silk from Zweigart. I think that's the color. I don't have it on my notes here today, but I did pull my notes out of my bag, but obviously not the right one for that one. No. I did pull my notes out of the various project bags, but sometimes there's another little card in there with my fabric choice on it, and I just seem to be missing that one. But it looks to me like 32 count silk from Zweigart. Okay, number 36 is Jacob again, and it is Modern Folk Embroidery's Little Acorns. There's not a lot to see on this WIP. As you may recall, I'm going to shorten the chart when I stitch it, because I got a stitch count error and I didn't realize the chart was 309, I think, instead of 209, and I did it to 209. And it's a story, but never mind. Whatever it is, oh, it was 289, and I think it should be 389 long. But my early version of the chart said 289. And if I'd looked at the chart, I would have known that that's not where it stopped, but I didn't look at the chart. I was in a hurry to make a start because I loved it. I wanted to put the borders in so that I could be in a position to work on it next year. But more haste, less speed is really what we're taking away from this. However, I have already cut my fabric. I do not have enough room on this piece of fabric to lengthen it by another 100 stitches. So I did consider restarting, given that all I've done is some borders, but that was a lot of work. So I've decided just to take out a couple of the sections of the chart and make mine a little bit shorter. Yes, I'm leaving out some beautiful sections, but here we are. This is what is going to happen with my chart. So I haven't really got back to this, and it would be nice to get those borders and, you know, the bars all in place in time for January, but I won't be keeping up. It wasn't ever really my intention to keep up with the stitch along either. I just pretend that I might be able to do something like that. Anyway, that is number 36. Little Acorns. Oh, the other reason I didn't want to have to unpick this is because it's a 46 count. It's 46 count Eleanor's Ivory, beautiful, beautiful fabric from Swan Bay Fabrics. And yeah, I didn't want to have to unpick this in order to be able to reuse the fabric for something else. That's unpicking 46 count is not fun. So yeah, that's why we have adapted, and we will overcome. It's also being stitched in Auvers Soie 103 in the number 664. 37 is my very last WIP to share with you. Thank you for hanging in there. 37 is Frosty Tiny Town from Heart in Hand. And I started this in December 25, just a few weeks ago, on the 1st of December. And this is my final start with Marianne for her milestone year of stitching. So she chose Frosty Tiny Town. I had it in my stash, and I thought, yeah, I will start that with her. I'm hoping also to finish it in December, so it won't stay on this list for very much longer, I hope. I'm almost there. I have stitched, let me see, which way am I going? I've stitched over, I've stitched from here all the way over. I've started the snowman, so I have the snowman, this house, and this tree to go. I think that's doable. And here it is. It's beautiful. I'm stitching on a 32 count because I started some other tiny towns on 32 count as well. 2/2, which gives them that nice saturated thread color. And it is 32 count vintage grey from Zweigart, and this piece I bought from Linda Haddon, the Sampler Guild, and she was selling some fabric pieces at Stitch in London in 2024. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful mottled grey. I think it works really well for wintry pieces or nighttime pieces as well. So I've enjoyed this. I have not had all of the Fancy Floss colours called for, so I've used some of the DMC alternatives suggested, but some of them weren't great, because, for example, here in this house, the main front of the house is wavy navy, and the colour that was for the door, the DMC suggestion for the door, made it almost imperceptible to see the difference between the wavy navy. So I dropped a shade or two so that we could see the differences. But that is, you know, that is because I'm using some of her fancy floss suggestions and some of her DMC suggestions. If I'd stick with one, it would probably be all fine. I also changed the red, the suggested red DMC, because I didn't have the Weeks Dye Works sun dried. Suggested red was 22, but it was a very rusty red, and I really wanted a kind of stronger, more Christmassy red. So I swapped that in as well. So I'm making a few little changes here and there, but on the whole, I mean, I'm really trying to keep with the color scheme, just maybe interpreting it as I see the colors in the photograph a little. But you can see that some of mine are a little more sea green perhaps as well. I think that's the DMC conversion kicking in there. So anyway, it's really lovely and I am enjoying stitching it, and I do think I will be able to get this one finished by the end of December. I'm hoping to get it finished before Christmas actually. It's really nice. So those are my 37 WIPs. If you're still with me, sorry, just at that point my throat decided to get completely dry and got me a choke. So yes, if you're still with me, thank you very much for persevering with the WIP parade. If you're watching this in January and catching it up, thank you for coming back to see it. If you're watching in December as it's going out, please, please in the comments, suggest 1 or 2 or 3 of my WIPs that you've just seen that you would like me to consider finishing next year. And as I said, I will take the top 2 of your suggestions. Every suggestion gets a point, and I'll take the top 2 and I will add them to my 5 that I'm going to focus on finishing. I should put all 5 fingers up properly. The 5 that I'm going to put some real focus into finishing next year. I want to finish some others too, but I want to choose 5 that I particularly focus on throughout the year. So please be a part of that. I love when you are part of my stitching and the decisions that I make. And I'm looking forward to seeing which ones tickle your fancy for my finishing list. Thank you again. I will be back, I hope, on Monday the 15th maybe, with my next little Christmas episode and the Advent calendar reveals. I'm hoping to get that recorded and to be able to share that with you on Monday. So please come back and watch again then. I will try to keep it shorter. I haven't done very well at keeping those short at all, but I think I should be helped massively by the fact that I haven't had very much stitching this week. So maybe Monday's episode will actually be as short as a Christmas episode ought to be. Anyway, I know there are no real rules, but it's just if you've got to watch everybody, you just need everybody to be shorter. Anyhow, if you watched this, thank you for giving me your time, and I hope to see you again in a few days. And in this month of December, I really hope that you will all stay well and stitch happy. Take care. Bye bye.